When we got home, I took it and I was surprised. In my heart, si Ark na yung aking bunso. Si Ark na yung youngest. And I cried a lot. There will be excessive bleeding kasi matatamaan niya yung placenta. She already advised me to do bed rest. Yung aking placenta, it covered 80% of my tummy, of my uterus. The priority here is to save me and to save the baby. The amount was high. And we had 7 days to prepare it. Imposible siya. Imposible siya with us. But with God, nothing is impossible. Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a casual sit-down video wherein I will finally be sharing with you yung aking naging pregnancy journey from the moment that we found out that I was pregnant again up to the delivery day, and even gonna share with you a bit about what happened after I gave birth. So this is going to be a long one and baka maging chop-chop video siya kasi alam niyo na meron tayong inaalaga ang newborn. Biglang baka next clips wala na ako dito sa table. Nasa ibang lugar naman ako. But yeah, grab your coffee, snacks, or whatever and let's chat. So, I found out that I was pregnant on August 7, 2023. And prior to taking the pregnancy test, marami na akong symptoms na nafe-feel. And one of which was actually discomfort, yung parang pain sa breast area. Even with my other children, isa yun lagi sa mga first few symptoms ko kapag nabubuntis ako. But then, I was actually telling myself na baka hindi naman. Kasi, kumbaga, hindi naman yun yung first time na nakafeel ako ng ganun. Usually, kapag magkakaroon ako ng mens, makaka-feel din ako ng parang ganong pain sa aking chest area. So, parang, baka naman magkakaroon lang ako. That's what I had in mind. But then, another symptom, this one, ito talaga yung parang nakapagpa-convince din sa akin, is that I was delayed. Okay? And one thing you should know about me is that ever since I got my period when I was in high school, regular na siya. Regular ang aking cycle. The fact that I was delayed and that I was experiencing that pain in my chest area, and then I also started feeling, although a bit pa lang, very, very mild pa lang yung change sa taste buds. So, naisip ko, parang masyado ng maraming signs. So, Omar and I decided that we will buy a pregnancy test kit from the drugstore, and we did. And then, when we got home, I took it, and I was surprised. Kahit na medyo may inkling na ako, I was still surprised because, okay, just for context also, no? For how many months already we've been doing calendar method? And the month prior to that, the month of the conception of our baby, we were very, very, very extra careful. Because the month before, nung July, I was also 1 day delayed. Pero, yun lang naman yung naging symptom. Yun lang naman yung kumbaga pregnancy sign. But then, after a day, I still got my mens. So, obviously not pregnant. The weeks after that, we were very careful. And so, when I found out that I was pregnant, sobrang nagulat kami. And, hindi lang nagulat. I have to be honest that I was kind of devastated, okay? Because, in my head, 3 kids are enough. In my heart, si Ark na yung aking bunso. Si Ark na yung youngest. Parang hindi ko na makita yung sarili ko na, or yung family namin, na magkakaroon pa ng isa pang member. A new member. Diba? Pero sabi nga sa Bible, diba, many are in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's plan that will prevail. And so, yeah, I got pregnant. Again, with our 4th child. I have to admit na hindi siya nag-sink in agad sa akin. And I cried a lot for like how many days. It was really unexpected. It was unplanned, but you know, by God's grace, little by little, especially when we already shared it with our other kids, it became more real, I think. I think may ganun eh. Yung parang, if you're keeping it to yourself, kasi nung una kami lang ni Omar nakakaalam. Parang, it's our little secret. Parang ganyan. Pero the more pala na, alam mo yun, the more that you share it with people, it becomes more real. Not that it wasn't real before, pero it becomes more real. I don't know. Basta ganun siya. Hindi ko siya ma-explain. So, this time around, the pregnancy was a lot different. Like, sobrang iba with the previous pregnancies that I've had. It was quite similar with the pregnancy that I experienced with ARC, but still a lot different. With my two girls kasi, I had them when I was 21 and 22. So, I was young. And so, both pregnancies with my girls were walks in the park. Sobrang dali nung naging pregnancy ko sa kanila. Wala akong ano man na na-feel na kakaiba. I was even working that time. I was commuting from Manila to Makati without any problem. With ARC, it was different from the first two because I was already in my 30s and so medyo mas, I don't know, mas naging exhausting siya for me. I was sick a lot also. Lagi akong may lagnat, laging masakit yung ipin ko. But, all in all, manageable siya. Kasi natatandaan ko, nung time na yon buntis ako kay Art, pero we were able to go to the mall. Nagpamalling pa kami with my girls, ganyan-ganyan. Really, I had a lot of time with them. Samantala namin yung mga araw na sila palang dalawa. I gave birth to Art in 2017 via cesarean delivery. And so, with our fourth child, we're also expecting na magiging cesarean delivery rin siya. But then again, okay, going back to the pregnancy, it was harder than ARC. In a way na marami akong nafe-feel na kung ano-anong pain sa katawan ko. Hindi lang siya pain, pero a lot of discomfort. Like, I had a lot of food aversions and food cravings. Meron din akong parang laging acid reflux na hindi ko maintindihan. Meron din akong heartburn na na-feel or na na-feel that time. Tapos meron akong feel na pain sa aking lower abdomen. And then, mga 3 times yata ako nag-hyperventilate throughout the pregnancy. So, maraming mga kakaiba akong ka-experience with Aelle. Maybe I'll do a separate video kung ano yung mga different like experiences, pregnancy experiences that I've had or yung difference among my kids. Bottom line is, it was very different. It was very difficult for me. Pero hindi lang siya difficult because of those things. It was harder because earlier on, during the pregnancy, I was already diagnosed with low-lying placenta. So, the placenta is, as we know, or if we don't know, it's the source of nutrition and blood ng baby. Sabi ng doctors, it's normal that when you had cesarean section prior, that the next time you get pregnant, you'll get low-lying placenta or even placenta previa. So, that's what they call it. And yung risk involved in having a placenta previa is that you cannot do, or there's like a very low possibility that you can go back to normal delivery. So, meaning, if na-CS ka before and you have placenta previa, most likely you'll be required to do CS again. Which is, for me, wala namang problema. Parang ready na rin ako na, okay, masi-CS na naman ako. And normally, the placenta will move. Normally, yung placenta mag-move yan upwards or sa side ng uterus or somewhere else. Basta hindi siya magsistay sa baba. However, in my case, it stayed there. So, nung una, I had my check-up at SAA Healthcare. It's a small clinic. Ano lang siya, outpatient clinic here in C. Raimundo. So, that's where I also had my prenatal checkups with, well, majority of my prenatal checkups with ARC before, prior to transferring to the hospital wherein I gave birth. And usually, doon din ako nagpapa-lab test, ganyan, kasi mas mura nga doon. My OB there, noong una pa lang, I was 4 months pregnant. We've been monitoring if mag-move yung placenta. But, 4th month, 5th month, 6th month, hindi siya nag-move. And yung position ng placenta ko, unfortunately, during those months, andun siya sa tapat ng kung saan yung aking CS cut for ARC. So, I had a bikini CS cut with ARC. So, yung placenta ko is nakatapat siya doon. Which, my OB there, she was very honest with us na we are bound for a risky delivery because if the placenta will stay there and they have to cut me in the same spot, it will cause excessive bleeding. So we were hoping, month after month, week after week, day after day, we've been praying to the Lord na, Lord, sana mag-move, sana naman po lumipat siya ng pwesto yung aking placenta and everything. 6 months, when my OB saw na, okay, nandun pa rin siya, nasa baba pa rin siya, she already advised me to do bed rest, okay? And to, actually, no sexual contact at all, no taxing activities, no walking, like, bawal talaga ako mapagod para ma-prevent yung na mag-bleed ako. Because pag nag-bleed ako, prior to giving birth, then I might have to do, emergency CS or emergency operation and give birth na malayo pa sa term, which, of course, we know what will happen sa baby pag ganun. Pag hindi pa siya ready, pag hindi pa ready yung lungs niya and everything. So, 6 month came, and I had all my vaccinations na kailangan and tests. I had my blood test na unfortunately, never happened to me before. Pero this time, yung first test ko, yung first blood test ko, medyo mataas yung naging result. But then, in-advise niya ako to do another one. Kasi hindi ako nag-fast when I had the first one. So, I had to do another blood test, blood sugar test. And then, apart from the high blood sugar, it was also detected na meron akong UTI. Actually, 6 months pa lang sinabihan na ako ng OB ko na if hindi mag-move yung aking placenta, I cannot give birth in a secondary or a small hospital. I have to give birth in a tertiary hospital where there is a blood bank. And so on my 8th month, we decided to finally have our first checkup with our new OB. Because here's the thing, the fear is that it's not just a placenta previa, but what they call the placenta accreta. Placenta accreta is the condition wherein the placenta has already invaded or attached itself to the cervix or to the uterine wall. So, yung previous OB ko, that was her fear. Kapag ganun yung case, mas madugo ang magiging operation.
Okay guys, so just to clarify, I know na pag nanganak ka, whether normal o cesarean, talaga namang madugo yan. But I say mas madugo because normally, the placenta is the last thing that comes out. After the baby, tsaka lalabas yung placenta, whether be it in normal or cesarean delivery. But, in the case of placenta accreta, as mentioned, the placenta has already attached itself to the uterine wall. Meaning to say that when the doctors slice off that area to take out the baby, the placenta will be the first point of contact. So, as mentioned earlier, the placenta has a lot of blood vessels. Imagine poking a hole in a container full of water. The water will incessantly leak or flow. That's exactly what it will look like once the doctor slice off or cut the placenta. So, that's why it really is a complicated process. That's why it's recommended that there is blood prepared for blood transfusion because there will be a lot of blood loss during the process.
So, because of that, fear, or parang, because of that, possibility na meron ako placenta accreta, just to make sure na wala ako nun, or kung meron man ako nun, my previous OB, sinabi na rin niya na I have to do the placenta Doppler ultrasound. So, basically, that ultrasound, mas detailed siya, mas nakikita yung placement ng placenta, how many millimeters siya away from whatever, ganyan. And she told me na it's best to get it in the hospital or with the OB who will do my procedures. Ayun nga, when she did the regular ultrasound at her clinic, medyo nagkaroon pa kami ng hope na baka hindi. But then, of course, it was not, we know na hindi naman yun 100% accurate and hindi yun sure. Kasi yung gamit niya that time is yung regular ultrasound lang. Again, we had to do the placenta Doppler test. Immediately, she scheduled me for a Doppler test on a Saturday. I was already 33 weeks pregnant that time. And when we did the Doppler test, it took a long time. Sobrang tagal ng placenta Doppler test. Hindi siya yung regular na ultrasound lang na mabilis. And they did both internal and external ultrasound. So, meron transvaginal ultrasound and merong ultrasound na yung nasa labas lang. Just to make sure talaga kung ano yung posisyon ng aking placenta. Lo and behold, I don't just have placenta accreta. I am within the placenta accreta spectrum, but it's even worse. I have what they call placenta percreta. So I'm going to insert here a photo of the difference between placenta accreta, placenta increta, and placenta percreta. Technically, placenta percreta is the rarest form of placenta accreta. Within the spectrum, that's the rarest because with placenta percreta, the placenta has invaded not just the uterine wall, but also another organ. And in my case, it has invaded my urinary bladder. And so imagine our reaction to that news. Statistics purposes. So according to statistics, there are only 1 out of 2,500 pregnancies na placenta accreta. And out of that 1 out of 2,500, 5% is placenta percreta. Now, after the Doppler test, minute kagad kami ng aming OB to discuss what they saw during the test niya. And another thing na made things more complicated, yung aking placenta, it covered 80% of my tummy, of my uterus. Meaning, yung aking buong tiyan ay halos covered with placenta. Which means kahit saan siya mag-cut, there will be blood. And so, our OB discussed with us kung ano yung mga findings nakita nila, even the risks. She even told me, straightforward, she was very honest with us na I could die. That's one of the risks. Okay, life-threatening siya, yung condition na yun. If not planned properly, if there's no birth plan na maayos, I could die. At first, ang gusto niya sana is I'd give birth or yung procedure ko will be scheduled 36th week. Kasi nga, we have the baby to also think about. Kasi she will be born preterm. Either way, she will be born preterm. Pero gusto sana niya nung una is malapit na sa 37 weeks. However, her fear is that baka mag-labor ako while waiting. And so, after that Doppler test, she decided na okay, let's just have it in 2 weeks time. And then, yung 2 weeks na yon, naging 1 week siya. I had 7 days. So, she ordered for me to do cystoscopy. Cystoscopy so that we can see how much of the placenta is attached to my urinary bladder. I also did stress test. And then, we had coordinated with the blood bank already because I will be needing a lot of blood. Yung nilagay niya doon is about 12 units of blood yung kailangan ko, all in all. For 7 days, sobrang naging busy siya for us, for Omar and I, because we had to do all these procedures. And also, we have 3 kids. We had to juggle everything. And siguro yung pinaka-exhausting part is really preparing ourselves for what might happen. We had our conference call with our doctor, so they discussed with us what they will do. We agreed with doing what they call the embolization. It's a process, it's kinda a new process wherein nasusuppress yung blood flow by doing balloon catheterization sa blood vessel ko in my thigh area. Part also of the birth plan was I'm going to undergo cystoscopy again on the very day, and then the urologist will do will put a stent sa bladder ko para hindi, as much as possible, hindi siya matapyas or something during delivery. And then, because nga of my condition, because I have placenta percreta, I had to undergo hysterectomy. So, it's going to be cystoscopy, stenting, embolization, CS to get the baby out, to deliver the baby, and then hysterectomy. That was the plan. Again, the 7 days prior to pregnancy, it was very hard for our family, very exhausting, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially also, because at first we thought covered na namin, okay, nakapag-prepare na tayo for a CS package. But because of all these procedures that have to be done on me, hindi kami naka-avail ng CS package. And the embolization itself, guys, it's a costly procedure. We agreed to do it because the priority here is to save me and to save the baby. Even my doctor said na the money, we can earn it. Diba? Parang, pero yung life, that's something na pag wala na yan, wala na yan. So, we don't wanna risk it. So, we'd rather raise the funds, even though it was, during that time, it felt impossible because the amount was, it was high. The amount that we had to prepare, and we had 7 days to prepare it, imposible siya. Imposible siya with us. But with God, nothing is impossible. It's really what God made us realize, that with Him, it's not at all impossible. Kasi I prayed for it. How will we be able to raise such huge fund? And God made me realize na there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to people who could, if they find it in their hearts to help, they will help. And so I did a post wherein it's a fundraising post wherein I shared about my situation, about our situation, about, needing funds for the overall procedure. At most, parang meron akong ballpark figure in mind na, okay, maka-raise man lang tayo ng ganito, praise the Lord. Or kung hindi man tayo maka-raise ng ganito, praise the Lord. But God is so good. Iba talaga ang economy ni God. We were able to raise more than what we hoped for. More than what we prayed for. Yung na-raise namin na funds, of course, it wasn't like, it didn't cover the whole amount needed for the overall procedure. But, it was a huge help. And nakakataba ng puso, nakaka-overwhelm yung help, not just financially, but most especially the prayers that we got from our prayer warriors, from our spiritual brothers and sisters, from our church, even from people na, alam mo yun, I'm not really close with. Yun pa lang, that's already God's provision. That's God's hand at work. Totoo yung sinasabi nila na no amount is too small. Kasi kapag yung kahit gaano kaliit yung amount, pag yan nag-accumulate, it is a big help. Sabi ko nga, it's all God's doing. It's all part of God's plan. Kasi, if God has not touched the hearts of these people, they wouldn't give, right? Lalo na yung mga hindi naman ako kilala personally. Like, why would they care? But because God has touched their hearts, because they have the overflow of God's grace, I became a recipient of that grace as well. Their generosity. And again, we're just so thankful. Until now, I couldn't say thank you enough. Even though, yes, we trust and we are confident about our doctors, still at the end of the day, it all depends on what God's plan for me is. Ito yung natagalan. Supposedly, the first phase will only last for 2 hours. But because of the embolization, wherein nagkaroon ng issue yung radiologist, when it's time for my CS and hysterectomy, nung nilipat na ako sa delivery room, isa lang yung tumatakbo sa isip ko, and I really prayed. Sabi ko kay Lord, this is it. Let your will be done.